I will just lean on the already established protocol. But surely, I must recognize Her Excellency, the wife of our dear governor here represented, the Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, here represented also by my friend, another distinguished guest. Before I share my feelings with you on this critical subject matter this evening, let me use this opportunity which you have given to me to thank and commend the organizers of this event for this brilliant and very novel idea of calling people together like this to recognize and celebrate few individuals who, by human judgment, have distinguished themselves in their different callings to the service of God and humanity. Indeed, what you have created is more than an event. It is a movement, a cultural reawakening, a noble defiance against a deeply rooted tradition. While growing up as a child, I realized one thing about we Africans. This is a society where praises are mostly eloquent at funerals. We shower tributes on the dead, but forget to appreciate the living. We speak with eloquence only at memorials, while remaining mute in the presence of great men who are alive with us. It is rather refreshing and revolutionary to see young people choosing to celebrate heroes while they are still breathing. It never occurred to me that these young men would sit down and change that long-standing narrative by doing things differently. As you can see, this is the 7th edition of this project tagged Yala Achievers Summits and Awards, being championed by a young man who has cached a niche for himself locally and nationally. I think we all need to put our hands together and applaud this young man. Ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, my job this evening has been made very easy by the organizers for the choice of this very topic. And the topic is building lasting legacies, celebrating milestones. You will agree with me that the topic, though sounds a little bit philosophical, especially when we weigh it against the backdrop of our contemporary realities, it invites us to go beyond the glitters of short-term success and dig deep into the true meaning of life endeavors. This evening, we are gathered to recognize, honor, and celebrate few individuals who, by same human standards of assessment and rating, were adjudged suitable and deserving of these honors and awards. While doing so, I want us to reflect deeply on the import of this exercise, believing that what we are about to do tonight will not only serve as motivation to the recipients, but it will also set the high pace for generations to come. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us take time to reflect on the mystery of creation. We all came to this planet Earth without our own knowledge or inputs. We have also come to grasp with the mythological reality that we are only passing through this world once and for all. Forget those who will come to tell you stories about reincarnation. Personally, I don't believe that you or anyone else will come back to this world after departing from here. Painfully again, we have been told that the date we will die, the time we will die, the place we will die, and the circumstances of our death will not be known to us or anyone else. We are only given today to do whatever we want to do. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. That is just the mystery of creation. The picture I am trying to paint about our existence on this planet Earth aligns perfectly with the topic of our discourse, which to me is also intriguing and very captivating. When we talk about building lasting legacies, I know our minds would flash back to what an individual or group may have acquired over time here on earth. There is nothing practically wrong about that. But for the purpose of our gathering today, I want us to take our minds beyond that level. We should rather look at the idea of a lasting legacy from three pillars. First, from the perspective of individual's achievement or accomplishment, or even what you may say, his acquisition. Secondly, his impact on others, as well as his immediate community and by extension, the society. And thirdly, the memories of both his achievement and the associated impact. In other words, acquisition of wealth that has no impact on others amounts to nothing. Again, wealth and impact that have not created any memories about you is still inconsequential and can fade away. I am repeating it again. Your achievements, your impacts, and the memories you can bequeath to successive generations define your legacies that can last and be celebrated as milestones. A good number of us here have acquired so much wealth. Sometimes we even have much more than we desire. But our impact may be zero, with almost nothing to remember us when we finally die. Yes, as parents, you may have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children. But is that enough? How have you impacted on these children? When you die and leave this earth, what will you be remembered for? I have a neighbor whom God has blessed with 6 children. Out of these 6, only one is doing something meaningful. And guess what he is doing? He is a minibus driver. Why not underrating that? The remaining 5 are jobless and helpless. They have not been to school. They are not learning trade. The question now is, how would that parent be remembered by these children? Some of us are businessmen and women. God has blessed us with robust business empires. How do we treat those we employ to help us grow our businesses? Are you the type that when a young man stays with you for years, and when he gets to the time of leaving you, you look for one accusation or the other to slam on him and then dismiss him without any form of compensation or settlement? Is that how you impact on people? What type of memory do you think you are creating in the mind of the young man and even his family? What about those of us who are politicians and political office holders? What did you tell your constituents when soliciting for their support and votes? Do you live up to those promises? Or you just went there to scam them and get their votes? I listened to one of the commentators, at Arise TV yesterday, who attributed the problem of this country to our politicians and political office holders. To me, that may sound like an overgeneralization, because we all must learn to share the blame for the woes of this country. But of particular interest is still the role of our politicians in shaping our socio-economic lives. So many people believe that politicians just derive joy in giving their followers fish to eat instead of teaching them how to fish. The explanation is simple. Teaching them how to fish means empowering them to be masters of their own. And when you become a master, who do you think will do the toggery for you? They rather empower you with motorcycle Because that motorcycle will help you to move very fast when you are snatching ballot boxes and electoral materials. You can see that we have reduced our able-bodied young men to perpetual talks in the guise of empowerment. We try to do everything humanly possible to sustain and keep them breathing from one election season to the other. I even read on social media when an elected officer was challenged by his constituents to show his scorecards after spending 4 years in office. What he posted in response to this will even shock you. He posted a picture of a very beautiful casket he once bought for one of his loyalists to support him during his late father's burial. You may wish to ask, is that a legacy worth celebrating? He even went further to show a picture of himself shaking hands with His Excellency as another form of achievement. Well, you may not blame him completely. Perhaps in his village, he may be the first person to shake hands with a serving governor. God knows better. But today, we are talking about lasting legacies worth celebrating. Like I said before, your own legacy may not necessarily be those material things you acquire or those you are leaving behind when you die. Have you asked yourself why Cross River State is barely not visible at the federal level? Are you aware that as a state, we cannot boast of filling our quotas at the national level? How many of our sons and daughters are occupying top echelon in the Nigerian Army, in the Nigerian Police, Nigerian Navy, the Air Force, Immigration, Custom, etc.? Have you one day reflected on this unfortunate predicament of your state and her people? You can build your own legacy by helping to address or change this narrative. How do you respond to your community when they are in distress? Every passing day, we hear about the ravaging menace of Boko Haram terrorists and herdsmen attacks. Whether we like it or not, the devastating effect of Nigerian grazing system has posed serious danger to all of us. Go to the villages. A basin of gari, which we used to buy at 1,500 some years back, is now sold at about 30,000 naira, so to say. How do the low income and those who are not earning income survive such situation? Herdsmen are not allowing farmers to enter their farmlands any longer, coupled with the consequences of government's inactions. Is it not time we all go and educate our constituents on how to protect their farmland and communities? Brothers and sisters, we must go home and educate our people on how to defend themselves against any external threats. You will be celebrated as one who took proactive measures in safeguarding the lives and properties of your people in the event of anything happening. We hear of communal clashes here and there in our communities. Few days back, it was the people of Ijegu and Yabu, people of Ugaga and Uke, Itegokpame and Oba, etc. Yesterday, it was Boje and Isobendege in Buki local government. Today, we are still hearing of Ochong in Obubura and Ofutop in Ikom. We have elites who don't even bother about what is happening in their communities. They don't go to their villages to preach peace. We only go to our communities during elections. Is that the type of legacies you wish to leave behind? Are you aware that peace advocacy is an enduring legacy? Promoting peace in your community is in itself an enduring legacy because of the lives you must have saved by such advocacy. The government seems to be so handicapped to protect her citizens. Go to all police stations. You will never see those terrorists or headsmen being detained in any police cell. Those who were even arrested were recycled back into the army and the society. You can imagine a society that has abundant waste scattered all over our environment, looking for somebody to recycle them for the growth of this economy, now leaving those waste to go and recycle bandits and terrorists. What about the fact that our society has been rated as one of the most corrupt countries in the world? Nigeria, our beloved country, is a land blessed with overflowing milk, money, talent, wealth, but suffocating in corruption. In a country like ours, it becomes difficult sometimes to filter people, just like Mr. Ode has done to Honor. It is difficult because I can see that corruption seems to be in our DNA, and anything that is in your DNA is very difficult to destroy. This is the only country in the world that you hear a story of snake swallowing millions of naira. This is the only country that someone will go to the press to say that monkeys made away with billions of naira. This is a country where an elected governor will siphon trillions of the people's commonwealth and nothing will happen. These are all realities of our history. Every day you hear of Nigerians committing suicide because of their state of despair, frustration, and helplessness. Many Nigerians are severely sick, walking about with ailments, but because they cannot afford medical bills, they resort to patronizing quacks and other native doctors. They end up dying without help from anywhere. Yet, our politicians prefer to go to the United States of America just to treat even malaria. This is a country where a leader will rule for 8 years and cannot fix his own country's health facility. They rather prefer to die in London hospital than Nigerian health centers. What a shame. To me, there is just a very thin line that separates banditry from corruption. These are the two catastrophic epidemics in our checkered history as a country. Corruption has sent so many helpless Nigerians to the grave, more than the dead recorded as a result of banditry. Sadly, these same corrupt Nigerians are the ones being conferred yearly with our country's national honors. Ladies and gentlemen, our nation's institutions of learning are not spared in this blame game. What we hear from our different citadels of learning in the country today are also mind-boggling. Our ivory tower has been desecrated by those who have no business presiding over the affairs of our children. Our heads of institutions, our lecturers, and administrators alike have all contributed to watering down the standard and quality of education, as well as the certificates we issue to our students. If you are a lecturer, you have acquired the requisite knowledge and skill with different qualifications to your credit. That in itself is a great achievement. But how have you impacted on those that have been entrusted to you? What can you be remembered for? Are you one of those lecturers who insist that a female student must sleep with you before passing your course? Are you the type that will not even cover your course syllabus before administering examination to students, just to make them to fail and come back to you for negotiation? We are all guilty of the rots in our society today. Our situation today is just comparable only to the situation we read about Sodom and Gomorrah. I am just wondering, if God should come down now to throw up that challenge he threw to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, whether we are confident enough to provide the number that will help us escape the wrath of God. I will therefore conclude by strongly advocating for government to take a second look at those being conferred with national honors in this country. There is need to clean up the process and reserve honors for deserving Nigerians. We must put a halt to this hypocritical paradox of selecting and conferring national honors on political bandits, economic saboteurs, and looters of our commonwealth. Our leaders should begin to think of how to identify honest, transparent, hardworking, God-fearing, and responsible citizens of this country to be conferred with our national honors. Affluence without positive impact should not define leadership in Nigeria. Our leaders must provide impact-driven legacies that leave lasting memories in the minds of average Nigerians. As individuals, we must all strive to use our God-given resources and privileged positions to impact others and, by extension, the society. This is the way we can build lasting legacies and be celebrated at all times. Once more, I congratulate all those who have been carefully selected for this Distinguished Achievers Award tonight. May this recognition and honor remind you that the journey is not over. Rather, this honor should serve as catalyst for greater achievement in your various places of primary endeavors. And to everyone present here tonight, please remember that the legacy you build today may become the lifeline of someone else tomorrow. As we celebrate these few individuals who will be honored this night, let us also begin to think of how we too can impact on our generation so that we can also be listed in the next Achievers Awards. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Can we please put our hands together for him?